everyone. I'm Wendy Griffith.
And I'm Mark Martin. Egypt's military has pursued a relentless crackdown on the Brotherhood, arresting most of the group's top leaders and planners. But the crisis is far from over. George Thomas has tonight's top story.
Scenes like this of churches burning across Egypt should have never happened. Amnesty International is accusing security forces of a shocking dereliction of duty in protecting Christians. The backlash against Coptic Christians should have been anticipated, Amnesty said in a statement. In the current political standoff, both the Egyptian authorities and the leadership of the Muslim Brotherhood have shamefully failed to prevent and stop attacks on Coptic Christians. At least 60 churches were destroyed, along with Christian schools, homes, and businesses. Tonight, the streets of Cairo are relatively calm. The army escalated their crackdown on the Muslim Brotherhood by arresting its top spiritual advisor, Mohammed Bodi, for incitement to murder. The group said his arrest was just one Brotherhood member.
He is of huge value for us. We are in pain. But the Brotherhood operates as a coalition on all levels of society, and his arrest will not affect our operations.
But it has so far, with the Brotherhood's most experienced and respected leaders now behind bars.
Thank God that Mohammed Badi has been arrested, and the government should take all the necessary measures for the Brotherhood to stop.
Meanwhile, the White House is disputing a report that the U.S. has already cut military aid to Egypt, saying events in the country are still unfolding.
That aid that we have provided in the past, or the aid that's in the pipeline for us to provide moving forward, is something that is under review.
And in a move that is likely to inflame an already volatile situation, Hosni Mubarak, the former Egyptian president overthrown in 2011, could be a free man within hours. A court acquitted him of corruption charges, but he still faces allegations of killing hundreds of protesters during the uprising. George Thomas, CBN News.
Although the White House says they have yet to cut aid to Egypt, the administration has announced a cabinet-level meeting to discuss the possibility.
Our terrorism analyst Eric Stakelbeck is the author of the new book, The Brotherhood, America's Next Great Enemy. And he joins us now from our Washington, D.C. bureau for more on the situation in Egypt. Eric, the Muslim Brotherhood has seen some setbacks in recent days. Is there an end in sight to this fighting in Egypt?
You know, Wendy, unfortunately, I don't think so. The Muslim Brotherhood will not go quietly. Remember, this is the original Islamic terrorist group. They spawned al-Qaeda. They spawned Hamas. This is a group that is inherently violent, Wendy, to its core. And right now, with all the mayhem in Egypt we're seeing, with churches being burnt to the ground by the Muslim Brotherhood and its supporters, we are seeing the true face of the Muslim Brotherhood. That mask has finally fallen off, and it is full-fledged jihad right now in Egypt on the part of the Brotherhood. So I don't think they're going to go quietly, Wendy. I think we have a good chance here of civil war, or in the very least, sustained civil unrest in Egypt. And I am very worried about that Suez Canal, Wendy, which Egypt controls and which 7% of the world's oil passes through every day. If the Brotherhood, its radical allies, target that with terror, we are all going to feel it in our pocketbooks.
Well, Americans tend to be nonchalant about things that aren't affecting them directly. Why should Americans be concerned about what's happening in Egypt?
Now, in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, that's a lawless, Wild West kind of area. Al-Qaeda has a strong presence there, and they have been launching cross-border attacks out of Sinai against Israel. Now, if the Egyptian military can't get a handle on it, Israel will only stand pat so long, Wendy. If missiles and rockets are being launched against Israeli cities, eventually Israel will act in the Sinai Peninsula. And who knows, that chaos in Egypt could spill over, pull Israel in, and a wider regional war. All of us will feel it, particularly through the global economy.
Eric, a lot of people want to know, was the Brotherhood responsible for those attacks on the churches in Egypt?
The Brotherhood was looking for an opportunity, Wendy, to do this. Right now, we are seeing a genocide against Christians in Egypt, at least an attempted genocide by the Muslim Brotherhood. They want to stamp Christianity in Egypt out, Wendy, for good. And remember, this is one of the oldest Christian communities in the world in Egypt. According to history, the Apostle Mark founded that Christian community in Egypt. The Muslim Brotherhood basically helped to drive out the Jews of Egypt. They want to replicate that with the Christians. It is a very dangerous time right now for Christians in Egypt.
They need our prayers for sure. Eric, thanks so much for your insights. And for more of Eric's coverage and for a link to his new book, you can visit our website, cbnnews.com. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Wendy.